Okay, this is the Warworld Battle Circuit Season 1, Tournament 8, Top 8, Best of 3, Game 3 against Corybear88 and his McCready. So we've gone first in all three of these games, which is kind of nutty. And this starting row is absolutely bonkers. We've got a Colossus, we've got a Hive Queen, and we've got three cards that we absolutely do not want Corybear to have. So in this situation, as tempting as a Hive Queen might be, and as tempting as blowing the Gambit to try and make that happen, that's not what's going to happen here. What we're going to do here is we're going to buy the Blockade Runner, we're going to buy the Frontier Hawk, and then we're going to use our Gambit to top the Alliance Transport, because what we're looking to do here is there's absolutely no way on this clean earth that Corybear can land a turn 1 Colossus. He could in theory get a Hive Queen, that would be quite bad, but by seeing his first hand we can kind of gauge what he's got going on in his next one, and that might give us some options about whether we look to try and buy the Colossus or we look to try and buy the Hive Queen. So straight into the Gambit again. So just like game 2, Cory is gunning for the Hive Queen. He's going to take that 50-50. It didn't work out for him in game 2, and it doesn't work out for him in game 3 either. He takes the Mobile Market, and then picks up a Scrapper and just hits for 14. And so now we know 5 cards of his next hand, so we know what he's capable of in terms of picking up from the trade row. So we're also able, with the Gambit here, we can pressure his next hand with a discard of 3. So he is 100% not picking up a bomb, of which there are 3 on the row. And this is, we get rid of the Ranger there. We're going to play out our hand. We're going to get to 7. We're going to spend that 2 and we're going to buy Colossus, because there's no way Corybear picks up Hive Queen or the Siege Fortress. Problematically, there is a Cargo Craft and a Blockade Runner there that he could pick up. It's not ideal, but Colossus is such a good card that we have to take him. Unfortunately, whilst we do top him, lucky, we top him without any factions, so we're going to be having a saddled draw 1 here, and he does pick those things up. Light Cruiser popping onto the row, so very dangerous. So we're gonna grab, and there's an argument. There's an argument that says we just straight up buy the Light Cruiser first, but what we actually really want to do is top it. And luckily we do draw into the trade that allows us to do that. So we made a yellow so that we could use our starter to cycle out the Viper. We're then gonna don't know why it really keeps changing every time you do that. That's slightly frustrating. Instead of trying to go for anything too clever, we're just going to top the Light Cruiser. Really want to pressure Corybear. Now that we've got Colossus, we've got a fair bit of yellow, and we just want to make him hurt. So we're going to take the Blobbot, because we don't want him having that. There is still some danger on the row, but by applying pressure to his hand, hopefully he can't pick these dangerous cards up. He also went to Scrap, so his economy game is going to be a little bit weaker, and indeed it is. He can just pick up the Probot and reveals the Demolisher, and this is an absolute playground for Nandi. We're going to play out our yellow. We're going to draw a whole bunch of cards. I'm going to cycle that through. We're going to stick another discard 2 on him, and we're going to top the fed transport there, give him a big hit, and we're in a position to get something pretty good next turn. Mobile Market comes down and he draws it. He blockades into a scrap. So Corey really trying to make his deck slim, and trying to get to the stage where he's seeing all his damage cards as fast as possible. Forces a discard on us, but can't do anything with the trade that he draws. So we're going to get rid of our Ranger. We're then going to cycle out the Diplomatic Shuttle with the starter. We're going to another discard 3 coming in. That gives us, with Fed Transport, the trade so that we can grab Demolisher. Super Freighter pops on the row, and I think we can see where this is going, because with a discard 3, Corey can't grab anything of note. It's super hard when the discard engine, when discards come in thick and fast. It's very difficult. We're gonna make the Colossus. We're gonna make Rhodey green so that we've got the trade from Blobbot, because we'd really like to buy the Super Freighter, and we do actually get enough trade to buy that, and then we can pop a discard in, pop some damage, and with the Frontier Hawk at the bottom of the deck is perfect, because then we can just cycle into all of those good cards. We're at a massive authority total already, and of all the games I've played so far in this particular tournament, I think this one has felt like we made the right sacrifices to RNGesus, and it just, like, we got rewarded really, really well from the row. The yellow cards that we bought at the start set up a discard chain and pressure on McCready that didn't allow him to buy the things that he needed to. And whilst Corybear's done a great job scrapping down, and he's hit us hard. There's Fred there on the row now as well, and it is close. We do cycle out the Blobbot there. We're looking for the bombs. 5 extra damage. It would drop him to 3, but actually we know we've got the damage coming. We just need to survive. So that gives us a bump in authority. Or if it had been a Demolisher or a Super Freighter there, then we're drawing all the cards. It's 36-8, and this next turn is going to be ugly. Corey goes through the motions of killing Fred, and we're just gonna play out all our things. We're gonna cycle through. We're gonna look to get all the yellows, and I'm not going to apologize for playing out my engine to the best of my abilities. We're gonna just absolutely go ham, and it was a good set. That game, above all in the series, was probably, there's very little Corey could have done there. Like, we went first in all 3 games. That last game was just abusive in terms of what the row threw up for us, and that, as many games as you'll have where you're never in it because Yoakum buys a bomb from underneath you, or McCready gets a couple of light cruisers in the early game, or Frontier Hawks. There's going to be games like that where the row is just dirty and horrible and filled with bombs, and Nandi picks them all up. So I feel like Corybear was a little bit hard done by, honestly, in this set. I think we had a couple really close games, and I was probably a bit fortunate winning the first one. But I'm not sure how much skill was involved in this game, because this was just literally like, get your nose out in front and keep it there and keep it there and just snowball. So it was a good set though. Thanks to Corey for the games. He's always a really, really tough opponent. And speaking of tough opponents, we're gonna come up against Juan Carlos Severiano, Juan Carlos himself, in the next round on a Yoakum. So the next one's gonna be hard, and we'll see you then.